This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Ostseeküste 22. But before that, this video is brought to you by Will Houseman and Cowboy Farming. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Ostseeküste 22 map, or as I will refer to it going forward as the Baltic Coast map, can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map actually has two versions. There is a cross-platform version that is available for all platforms. Then there is a PC-only version also released on the Giants mod hub. Now, looking at the description, it appears the only difference between the PC-only version and the cross-platform version is that the PC version is using multi-terrain angle, whereas the cross-platform version is using the standard number of Giants FS22 terrain angles. Another potential interesting discrepancy is if you look at the two web pages, the required mods listings are different, but I can tell you I have downloaded both versions of this map, put each version independently into my mod folder, and when I downloaded all the required mods for the cross-platform version, I'm still able to load up the PC-only version, even though there are some listings different as far as required mods on the web page. Maybe the web page is wrong. Maybe the mods that I downloaded, the map that I downloaded is not quite correct. I don't know the difference. They are definitely named differently. I definitely know that I put the cross-platform version in, took it out, put the PC-only version in, and they are working with the exact same mod set. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of the description. Welcome to the Baltic Sea. Landscape is characterized by hills and hedges. There are small and big farms. There are 66 fields and meadows, 5 farms, a BGA, 4 forestry areas, custom buildings, textures, and license plates, realistic stubble destruction, dig and waterhole fill up by rain. Oh, pretty cool. We have animated terrain, animated ships. There is a custom soil map. We have seasonal objects, 5 selling points at Animaldealer, Collectibles, and overall, a rather attractive map. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to use some mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. In addition to that, as I said, there are some required mods. They are the bunker silo kit, the cow shed pack, the Dutch contractor shed, the Dutch shed pack, the EU factories. Then we have the old cow shed and the old farm package, as well as the wind turbine package. Now, I did load this map up in farm manager mode and start from scratch, and I did find that the farms are exactly how you're going to see them here in new farmer mode. In addition, you also have all of the same starting equipment in all play modes. The only difference between new farmer, farm manager, and start from scratch is the latter two play modes. You do not own any land, and of course you have a different bank balance as a result. Now that we've loaded on in, let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. This is a standard size map. In fact, when I first saw that there was a PC version and a cross-platform version, I thought to myself, oh, maybe the PC version is 4X and the cross-platform version is a standard size map, but that does not appear to be the case. Both versions of the map that I have downloaded are standard size, but it does look from the description that it is multi-terrain angle, which is what's causing the two variants. This map does have all of the standard crop types available to us in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands, we start out by owning Farmland 59, which is the starting farm, Farmland ID 56, Farmland ID 3. And then in addition to those farmlands, there are also some additional viable farms. We have Farm ID 62, which is over here. That can be bought for $81,000. Farm ID 60, which is down here in the south. That can be bought for $99,000. And then farmland ID 70, which can be bought right here. And that is basically a contractor yard for $57,456. And then our starting area is $55,800. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any fields, what field or fields are included, and then in the end, ultimately, how much each particular farmland is going to cost. As you can see, we have quite the varied sizes in farmlands. Farmland 26 is 22.5 hectares in size, whereas farmland 42 is just 1.8 hectares in size. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our field calculator screen. We use the field calculator mod in order to show us the exact size of each individual field. We can then come back and cross-reference the field number with the farmland number in the farmland lease screen to then have an idea of how much that farmland is going to cost. This map does have a custom crop calendar available to us in this map. And if we take a look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell most, but not all of the standard crops that we can grow on this particular map. In fact, we cannot sell cotton, nor can we sell sugarcane, as we also have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk. Then as we pursue down here, we do have the ability to sell wood chips, silage, hay, straw, and grass. But when we get to our productions, once again, we're going to see that we are going to fail to be able to sell fabric. We also cannot sell any clothing on this particular map without putting down additional sell points. We are also lacking the ability to sell our planks and our furniture on this particular map. Good thing we do not have a sawmill. We also do not have a spinnery or a tailor. We do have the ability to buy bulk lime. And this map also has a stone sell point. Now, with respect to the platinum expansion, we do not have the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion production items on this map as default. But of course, you could always put down the Silver Run Forest market in order to sell any platinum expansion production that you may add. If you are playing with pumps and hoses, this map does have the ability to sell separated manure. We have a fairly modest list of starting equipment. All of it is new, none of it is leased, and it all has fairly well been maintained. There are no animal pens that are owned at the start. We do have 2 pre-placed cow pastures, though. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. This map does have contracts available, and we do not own any production chains at the start. And in addition, we do have 100 collectibles available. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we start out with the Fendt 515C small tractor. We have the Kloss Karat 140 TD trailer. We have the Horsch Torino 3FX cultivator. We have the Nordstein HK25 NS 3030 Power Harrow and Seeder. We have the Hardy Mega 1200L sprayer. Then we have the Quickie Q4M front loader arms. And for the front loader arms, we have a pallet fork and universal bucket. We have a Kloss 1200 kilogram weight and then a 600 kilogram front weight. And then we have the Amazon T-Pack U. This is used as a kind of a counterweight and additionally a way of spreading kind of your weight out on the field. Take a look at our mods and DLCs. You will see that there are no custom vehicles or implements that are a part of this particular map. And with that, I'm just going to kind of quickly walk over here, because here is our starting farm. So we have our farmhouse right there. We have our starting farm, which is pretty much an arable farm. Got some vehicle storage, some more implement storage, and that is about it. Now, with respect to, can the farms be customizable? The answer is kind of, but not fully. We can sell the 3 buildings located here at this farm. What we cannot sell, though, is a lot of these decorative items. They are going to remain on the map. Also, if you happen to sell a farmhouse, well, your satellite dish and your antenna, they stay also. They don't appear to be tied in with the farmhouse. We can, though, get rid of the fence. But like I said, these decorative elements are going to be stuck here. So you might as probably well not try to sell too much stuff here at this farm because of the fact that these decorative elements are going to remain. Now, the description said this map had a custom soil map, but in looking at the log is showing that the generic soil map from the Precision Farming mod is being loaded. So let's go ahead and uncover the soil map here and see what we're getting. Indeed, this is the generic soil map. We've seen this time and time again enough to know the generic soil map when we see it. It's quite possibly maybe there's a typo in the map configuration files, which is causing the custom soil map not to load. But what I'm telling you is the log is saying we're loading the generic soil map, and my eyes are telling me this is 100% definitely the generic soil map. As you can see, our starting field up here is loam and silty clay. Then we have a fair bit of sandy loam and loamy sand in the middle of the map here. We've got the telltale swath of silty clay to the south as well as to the north. Let's go ahead and get a little altitude and we'll take a look around the map. Right now we are looking off to the west. We start up here to the north, and right up here to the north, we have our town. Then we have the Baltic coast. A lot of the smaller fields are also up here to the northern area. A lot of the larger fields are kind of in the middle and the southern part of the map. Then directly below, again, we have our starting farm. Just south of the starting farm, we have, this is the grain mill. And speaking of grain mill and speaking of production, this map has 3 production items built in. We have the grain mill, we have a dairy, and we have a biogas plant. So the biogas plant is over there, off in the distance. We can't really see it at this point, but we will be coming back to that. But I just want to rotate and go around. We'll kind of fly around the map in a clockwise direction. Just north of Field 51, here we have our stone crusher, or basically our stone sell point. It's just going to be like a construction site here with a little bit of stone piled up. Now, another interesting, stylish detail to this map is we're going to find this walk path really around a lot of the road network. So we've got the road, and then right beside the road we have this walking path, and we're going to see our pedestrians kind of walking around the map on that particular walking path. It does give the map, in my opinion, a bit of life. Kind of like that concept. Now, what you're looking here is we do have some windmills in the middle of these fields. In fact, in the middle of fields 18 and 17, we have these windmills. I purchased the land. I tried to sell the windmills. I was not successful in selling those windmills. And I did try and fast forward the time while I owned the land that the windmills were on. I did not get any money as a result of the owning those 2 fields. So I think the windmills are purely for decoration. We're coming up here to our contractor yard, which is again at farm ID 70. We have our contractor yard below with the fuel station there. We have a grain sell point. Down here in the extreme southeast corner of the map, we have a wood chip sell point. We have our animal dealer. We have our bale sell point. We also have a potato and sugar beet sell point. We also have a log sell point down here as well. We also have a bulk lime silo. Here we have a player farm. This one has a cow pasture associated with it. Going ahead and purchased all of the player farms that are on the map. That way we will be able to take a look at those when we do get around to our drive around portion of the map. So with respect to production, we are going to give the map a full point because we do have production built in. We're coming up here to the biogas plant at this point, and I can tell you that I tried to sell the biogas plant. I was successful in selling the biogas plant. We can also sell the silage bunkers that are here at the BGA. So we do have pretty good customization capabilities here at the BGA if we wanted to play with pumps and hoses. Now, what we can't sell is we can't sell a lot of the decorative bits that are a part of the BGA. And we also have an issue with selling these lights. So the lights are going to remain if we sell the BGA. So we will have to kind of work within the confines of these lights if we do put something else down. Coming over here to my field 62, this is going to be another player farm. This one also has a cow pasture associated with it, or a cow building associated with it right there. We have a sell point just below that. Now, in the earlier segment where we were showing off the PDA, there was one large player farm that I did miss. That is Farmland 57. We're coming up to it very shortly. Farmland 57 goes across the street. It's got a rather unique kind of manor house, I'm going to say. And then we have a large silo complex where we have the rest of kind of the arable farm buildings. So the manor house is just on the other side of this tree line. So there we have the large manor house with several outbuildings. Then across the way, we have our arable farm with our large silo complex. Now the silo complex is going to have its output and its fill point right there. Now we'll make our way. We have our dairy, which is directly in front of us here. So our dairy is down below. We have a water trigger located right there. And then our vehicle shop is also in town right here beside Grass Meadow 64. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. We have a pretty decent sized area here for our machinery to spawn in at. Then we have our dealer workshop trigger right here. Now we don't have, I was going to say we do. We don't, but we do. It's a rather large area. And I didn't initially see that hashing. But we do have that marked out, which is good to see. And then we have, interesting enough, another trigger located right here. This is just a standard workshop trigger, though. This is not going to allow us to actually sell our vehicles or, quite frankly, repaint our vehicles. Let's head out of the shop, and right beside the dairy, we have this viable placeable area, this blank lot. So we can buy this area fairly inexpensively. So farm ID 77, we can buy it for $4,700, and that is going to give us a little bit of a placeable area. Something else that I did not mention is we can actually buy the unbuyable land, which is going to be the road network. It's going to be the towns and such, and that can be purchased for a total price of $0. So buying that is going to give you the ultimate flexibility, and then doing your landscaping and other such things. Here we have our dairy. So we have our dump point, our interactive icon, and our pallet spawn point. Here we have that pedestrian walkway. I'm going to make my way up to the north, where we're going to pass our starting farm. So we've got some subtle rolling hills, fairly flat, nothing too extreme. Here we have the grain mill. So we have our dump point, we have our pallet spawn point, we have our interactive icon, we have a lime silo. Our starting farm is right there. Now, with respect to the ability to sell all of our crops, base game, animal outputs, and productions, we are going to take off a quarter of a point because of the fact that we do not have the ability to sell cotton or sugarcane. Both cotton and sugarcane appear to be growable on the map, and the fact that they have a schedule with crop counter, and they are also listed on the main crop screen, but they do not have sell points. In addition, we do not have the ability to sell fabric, clothes, planks, or furniture unless we put our own sell point down. Here we have the stone sell point. And then I'm going to make my way around to kind of that large manor house farm, which is between fields 8 and 7. Watch out for the deer. This map does have a train. It is down to the southern part of the map. Be curious what you all think of this pedestrian walkway. Like I said, I think it's a pretty neat feature. I don't know if I've really seen it applied on other maps or not. Now you will find on some of these fields areas like this, where we have what looks like a pole and then a manhole. As you can see, there's no collisions on that. You're going to be able to do your field work right over top of that. You won't have to worry about it. We also have some fields where we have utility poles crossing them. Let's see if these have collisions or not. They do indeed. So unlike the manholes and the small kind of marker poles that are beside those that are not collision, the utility poles do have collisions on them when they are in the field. So you will need to have hired help. Obviously, it's going to work around those, and you will need to work around those yourself. So here we are at the Manor House farm. We have a sleep trigger around the front. And I'm assuming the back trigger is wardrobe, because you don't want to be changing your outfit in plain view of the street, right? Now, with respect to this farm and its customizations, we can sell the manor house, but all of these outbuildings, they are not sellable. In addition, there's a fair bit of decorative elements around the manor house that are also not sellable. With respect to the farm buildings across the street, well, we have kind of a combination of can and can't sell. That building, nope, can't sell. It's permanent. This building here, nope, can't sell. It's permanent. The brick building in front of us, nope, can't sell. It's permanent. We can get rid of the fuel building or the fuel tank, and we can get rid of the silo complex. But the decorative elements of the silo complex, like these concrete barriers, they remain. So here we have our dump point and our fill pipe for the silo. And then this structure here, this also remains. We can't sell this. It's not a silage bunker because we don't get the chaff trigger pop up in the F1 menu. As best I can tell, maybe it's a root crop dump station where you could dump your root crops. Yeah, we'll make our way over to the next player farm, which is down by field 62. Overall, with respect to can the farms be customizable, we're going to take off 1/4 of a point. Just 1/4 of a point. Maybe we could have taken off a little bit more, but overall, I think there's enough at most of the farms, maybe with the exception of the one we were just at, that you can sell and have some level of flexibility. Well, I guess while we're here, we might as well talk about the biogas plant. So at the biogas plant, we have our digester. We have our slurry. We have our digestate pickup points. And one of the required mods was the silage bunker kit. And the silage bunker kit is a rather interesting kit because it allows you to put down these kind of modular sections. So you see each of these little squares is a floor of a silage pit. And then each of these wall sections is uniquely its own wall section as well. So if you wanted to, you could sell this. You'd have to sell each one of these little squares off and each one of these little wall sections off. But if you wanted to, you could clear this off and then put your own stuff in here. You can sell the BGA once you buy it, but if you do sell it, these light poles, they're going to stay where they are, and that may kind of limit your ability to ultimately put down whatever you want. While we're in build mode, let's go ahead and take a look. Since we do have a series of required mods, we are going to have several custom buildings that are a part of those mods that are available as sheds, silos, silo extensions, etc. So here we have that silage bunker kit where we could put down these bunker floors in just kind of squares and just kind of line them up. And then we can put down our bunker walls and kind of line them up side by side by side. And then we have these partitions, which are just going to be the old tires and such. Here we have part of the old farm package, which is included with the required mod section. Under productions, we have the EU factories mod, which is for the dairy and the grain mill. There are no custom sell points, greenhouses, orchards. Here we have the windmills that are part of the wind turbine package that is again listed as a required mod. Now, if we put one of these down ourselves, okay, we're going to get money for it per hour. But like I said, I bought the land that had these already on it. Fast forward in time, I did not earn any money. We do have custom cow barns because, again, they are part of the required mods section. We have generic horses, sheep. We do have a custom sheep area, but we don't have the ability to sell wool, nor do we have the ability to sell fabric. So putting down sheep at this point is kind of pointless unless you put your own sell points down as well. And we have fairly standard decorations. Then as far as our ground textures go, we do have some custom ground textures. And we do have some custom bushes also that are placeable. Now, while these all say they are part of the map, they all look fairly standard as far as our trees go. Let me just show you the BGA is going to be buyable for $786,000. Overall, I think this is a very nice map. In fact, if I wasn't kind of already preoccupied with some other projects, this could possibly be a map that I would be interested in picking up and maybe giving it a little play on. Farmers may find the farm area is a bit small, given the size of fields that we have on the map. So here we have our farmhouse for this particular farm. A couple little outbuildings. Then we have our cow shed. So the cow facility is going to support just 35 cows. In the main door, we have then our food and straw trough. Here we have our slurry trigger. We have silage bunker around the side. Then we have our milk trigger. And then some more storage. Like I said, fairly small farmyards for some of the sizes of some of these fields. Right, I think players are going to be maybe looking for places to store machinery, feeling as if they really don't have enough room in any one of these farmyards. They may end up kind of sacrificing. They may end up sacrificing some field space for storage. And here we have a sell point. Let's go ahead and identify what this one is. This one is Hansen Wholesaler. We're going to take this road down to the southwest corner of the map, or southeast corner of the map, I should say. Kind of a narrow lane. Overall, I think you could probably get down around the larger roads with decent sized machinery. Side roads like this, though, you're not going to want anything too terrible large, or anything that, you know, doesn't fold up into a fairly small package. You see some of the subtle rolling of the fields on either side of this road. Here we have a third player farm, or I guess a fourth player farm. We have a sleep trigger. A little bit larger maybe of a farmyard as compared to the farm that we just took a look at. Although the cow area is still fairly small. This one's going to support a total of 70 cows. We have our straw dump point maybe, or a pickup point for slurry, pickup point for manure maybe, milk. Then we have our food trough. Again, we have that placeable silage bunker floor right here. You're gonna find the train tracks right on the other side of that ridge line. And then over here we have a amalgam of different things. We have our Animaldealer trigger. We have our Animaldealer bale sell point. We have a wood chip sell point. We have a log sell point with our dump station and sell wood trigger. We also have a sell point here for sugar beets, as well as potatoes. We have a bulk lime by silo. And then we have a grain sell point located right inside of here. So a lot going on. A lot going on there. As far as buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique, I do believe they are. Not been put off by any super bad textured buildings. They all appear to have the parallax occlusion on the sidings and or the new 3D windowing technique. And the final scoring metric that we're going to talk about is player and interactive areas being clearly marked. And I feel that they are also very well marked on this map. I was almost going to say that they didn't have the markers at the dealer trigger, but I did see those because they were such widespread. I didn't recognize them initially. So that's going to give the map a score of 4.5 out of 5. Very respectable score. I'm very curious to know what you all think of this particular map. So over here, right by field 65, we have another grain sell point right here. And then right across the street from that, we have the contractor yard. Lots of storage for machinery here in the contractor yard. That's going to do us for the Baltic coast. Let me know your thoughts, like I said, down in the description below. Is this a map that you're going to be adding to your soon-to-be playing playlist? If not, why? And if so, Why do you feel drawn to play on the map? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, happy farming.